Hello, everybody, and this was supposed to be a session for students of FAST University Developer Student Club, Karachi campus. Uh, so, my name is Hussain Mansoor. I'm a lead systems engineer and working for RIA Group Asia in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Uh, RIA Group is basically a property management or property listing marketing company, something like Zameen.com in Pakistan. So this session, and basically I manage their cloud infrastructure, and I do what in general terms is what DevOps engineer or site reliability engineer does. We call it systems engineering. So well, I'm a systems engineer. So let's start this session in which I'm going to introduce you about AWS, which is a cloud computing. And what is cloud, why we need cloud, what is AWS, and stuff like that. And we'll end this session with a website hosting on AWS. Uh, if you want to contact me, you can contact me on Twitter at Hussain Raj. So let's begin. So these are the things these which you should remember from today's session. If you remember these 3 4 points, I think I'm successful. Today's session is a success. So what are these 3 4 things? Well, what is cloud? You should understand from this session, like what is cloud, why we need it, what are the benefits, why cloud was introduced to the world, and what are the requirements and benefits, and what are the different types of cloud offerings, IaaS versus IaaS, PaaS, SaaS, which is we'll go through these and we'll end with the demo. So let's begin. So what is cloud? Cloud is somebody else's computer. It is a computer. It is running somewhere. It has a physical presence, but we don't access that physical computer. We access it via internet, right? And everything is virtual in the cloud. Virtual in the sense that you cannot access the physical hardware on which your application executes or which your operating system runs or anything for that matter. All the services, solutions, everything is just virtual. So you access it via internet most of the time. You can also access it via private network like your organization, VPN, and so on. And the benefit is that this particular computer is huge, is humongous. It's not like tens or 20 computers. It's not like hundreds of computers. I think maybe it's tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of computer in one data center. And uh, computer in this particular sense is a server on which we host our websites, our applications, our APIs, anything. I'm just going to refer that particular server or entity as computer in this session. So the amount of computers a data center holds in Amazon or any cloud provider for that matter is huge. So the benefit is that we can consume as much server entity as we want, you know. So we don't have to wait for the provisioning. We don't have to wait for it to come up. We can just ask for it and it will be available to us. So what are the three models of cloud computing? Uh, well, let's just uh, wait for a while for this particular question to be answered. And this is very high level. What is cloud? Obviously, cloud could mean a lot of things. So these are just a word cloud. The terms which are included in what under the umbrella of cloud computing. So blockchain is there, microservices, serverless architecture. We have high availability systems. We have fault tolerant systems. Networking is there. Well, the cloud is relatively more secure than your average servers. And big data is there. Data lakes. We store data lakes. We use petabytes, exabytes of data on our S3 buckets or any storage solution for that matter. We host database solutions. Well, a lot of things. The AI, ML, quantum computing, IoT. just to name a few. And the terms, well, there are like hundreds and hundreds of terms associated with cloud computing these days. So I can't just cover that everything in this intro session. But I'm just uh, repeating the concept that cloud is huge. So what are the requirements? Why cloud is there, or what are the benefits we get from cloud? So the cloud, the basic requirement, which according to me is the benefit, the requirement of agile movement. So what is agile movement? I'm sure you have heard about the term agile itself. So whenever we hear this word agile, we always think of Scrum or Kanban or extreme programming or something along that lines. But agile is a mindset. Is agile is well, I would say is a common sense way of developing software, right? So you don't have to kill yourself writing long documentations which nobody reads in the real world. Okay. Um, so instead of planning your releases for months, you just release whatever you have, whatever is working right now, you just release those things. Maybe things which you plan for months, nobody want that. So it's a lot of waste. It reduces waste. So to deliver all these promises of agile, we need a technology, we need a platform which is fast. So if you want to develop, test, POC, deploy something, we want to test our product if it works or if it doesn't work, and if it doesn't work, we reiterate and redeploy and tweak our idea and do something else. Well, that's the speed. And if you follow the old conventional way of deploying applications or APIs or services, like uh, maybe on physical data centers, then that's a huge capital hungry promise to do. Like you need a lot of resources, you need a large sums of money. And the alternate is that you use some online servers, like a few $100 per month. Well, that things might work, but it's definitely not scalable. And over the long term, it's much more costlier. So the third point being pricing is that cloud is cheap. It depends how you look at it, but if you're mature enough, you understand the complexities of operations, if you understand the complexities of scalability, if you understand what is fault tolerance, disasters, uh, replications, well, all the necessities which come with huge systems. I'm not talking about one guy application, my weekend project, which I can just deploy it on maybe a Linode or even Raspberry Pi. Well, for that, definitely you don't need a cloud. But let's say you have like a million users every day, maybe, then definitely you need some scaling for that. And when you reach that level, then pricing is a huge point to consider. Next point is very interesting. It's available for all. So the best part about cloud is that unlike, let's say, IBM managed data center, which only certain kind of corporations which with deep pockets can access, okay, cloud is for all. It's available for all. If you're a student, if you're a one-person man, um, maybe if you just want to host your weekend project, but if you want to scale it, that if the requirement is there that maybe my idea clicks and overnight I have like million of users, then the cloud will handle all the scaling for you. And there's no restriction of who you are, where you are, as long as you have internet connection, well, cloud is there for you. Accessible. Accessible means here is that you can go global in minutes. So let's say my traffic, my end users, my consumers are in America, my end users are in Europe, my end users are in Singapore. I don't have to be in Singapore to host my servers. I don't have to be anywhere for that matter. Just an internet connection is good enough, and I can access all my servers in that particular physical location. So I can host my servers in Singapore from Pakistan. And well, AWS lets you do that. You can do it, and that's what most of the people do. Like uh, they host their services in US regions, or well, what is region? We'll talk about that later a little bit in detail. But region is just a physical location. At the end of the day, it is a data center, but the data center which is managed by AWS and not by us. Not by us. So the final point is the language, technology, and tools agnostic. So cloud is basically many things, and it's the best part about it is that it doesn't restrict you to a particular technology. You could be a PHP developer. You could be any from any technology from that matter of fact. You could be C sharp developer. You could be I don't know Java developer, and this works for you. Okay, so let's move on. And after all these good points, benefits of cloud, let's see what are the three different types of cloud offerings. So cloud computing models we have is infrastructure as a service, we have platform as a service, and we have software as a service. Well, there's a fourth one as well, but let's these are the three major ones whenever you will talk about uh, cloud models, cloud computing models. So what are these? So you can use cloud as an infrastructure layer. Infrastructure means that you just need to host your application on a bare metal hardware. You need servers and you will build everything on top of them. You just need Linux servers maybe, okay, and you don't need anything. You just need a server, and you will maybe you will you want to install your own Linux distribution on top of that particular hardware. Well, AWS lets you do that. And networking, like your subnets, your IPv4, IPv6, firewall rules, routing, all of that, you manage it. Okay, AWS lets you do that from ground up. So that is infrastructure. So that is one way to use cloud computing, is that you use the very low level of cloud computing resources, which is infrastructure. One level above infrastructure is platform. So what is platform? Platform becomes when you use operating systems, runtimes like Docker, when you host your applications irrespective of your infrastructure, irrespective of your which OS it is, or maybe which type of hardware it is. I just want to host my application, and that's everything I care about. Well, then I host it on a platform rather than infrastructure. Services, you use uh, AWS services to create your own applications. And then in this particular sense, AWS is a platform for you. So services could be SNS, which is a notification service to send emails, SMS. It could be anything. It could be if you just want to use the queue services. So it's SQS. And then there are like hundreds of services. So if you just want to host or you just want to store your files, your data, then you use storage of AWS. And then that storage is a platform for you to build on top of that. The third point is SaaS. So SaaS is software as a service. Now, in this particular case, you don't even care that if it's a Linux server, if it's what is the underlying network. You just consider that you are using a software and you don't even care how it works. So common example is Google Workspace, like Google Sheet, which I am using right now. So I don't even care where is the storage of my worksheet. Well, definitely there is a storage. There is some file is which have all these slides, right? And I am consuming it, so there must be a web application which is letting me access that file. So there is some kind of networking involved. There is some kind of storage involved. Definitely, there is some kind of security involved that I have to log in order to access this particular slide. But all of that is hidden from me. All I have to do is use it as a service. Open my browser, access my link, and voila, I have it. So Gmail is another uh, example of SaaS. In AWS terms, well, Amazon Workmail is the same as what is Gmail. We have Dropbox, or we have Chime. Chime is simply put is a Skype. alternative, or it's just a Skype. So we have that. And then we have Amazon Honeycode, which is like you don't have to write code, and you can just use this Honeycode, which will create mobile applications. So moving on, there is fourth type, which I think is a new thing um, in terms of cloud computing models, and that is serverless. So serverless actually is you don't even think about anything but your code. So it's like you can call it as function as a service. So you have functions, you create some functions which do something, and you host it just like that. You don't care what your technology is. Well, obviously the technology has to be supported by the serverless framework or architecture. So function as a service or code execution as a service. Okay, in AWS terms, it's Lambda. So search about it, and it's amazing. So in this particular case, serverless, you can build your applications on top of serverless. Okay, and then you don't even have to care about scalability, underlying storage. You don't have to care about if which type of operating system you should use, where it is executing, if it's containerized or not. Well, it's amazing. Okay, sorry about that. So let's move on and let's see some details about AWS. So AWS, well, there are 175 services. You can access this link and you'll see that they have services for mobile application development, for IoT, for robotics, for workplace, and well, uh, so many things. So you can use all of these services either as SaaS or PaaS, and some of the services you can use them for infrastructure as a services, IaaS. Okay, they have AWS has 24 regions. Regions is sort of like a country or locations. USA has more than one region, so I should not. It's not strictly a country, but it's a physical location within that physical locations, you have multiple data centers, sometimes two, sometimes three, and maybe sometimes even more than that. So this particular link, infrastructure.aws, just visit it and it will show you all the networking between multiple regions, between multiple availability zones, and how each region interconnects with other. Well, that's amazing. Now let's check the clients. Who uses AWS? Is AWS even a thing? Well, clients, AWS clients such as Netflix, Twitch, Sony, PlayStation. Well, these are huge names. These are not these are not small names. These are not weekend projects. These are not what should I say? These are millions and millions of users, end users. They have like a huge market and they have a huge computing requirements. And AWS is able to do all of that for them. So Twitter, Doom, Facebook, LinkedIn, Airbnb, Shell, Expedia, Unilever, News Corp, Disney, and 21st Century Fox, which has a lot of movies and entertainment stuff there. I'm sure you have heard about it. All of these services use, all of these companies, all of these organizations use AWS. Now, one more very interesting thing I want to show you is this. This is a diagram of a microservice architecture. The left one is Amazon and the right one is Netflix. So all these small nodes, well, I'm sure it's not properly visible, but you can Google it and you can search for it and you will be amazed that all these small nodes is one small application which is a microservice, and you have extremely complex integration of one microservice to another microservice, and you need a very strong, scalable, and very resilient underlying platform to host this kind of architecture. And these microservices are getting deployed, I'm sure, every minute because there are like thousands and thousands of microservices. They are being deployed every minute. So somebody is deploying a microservices, updating their application every minute, and well, AWS is very easily able to manage all that. You don't have to be this complex to use AWS. You can, you can use very simple application. Maybe you have a monolith. Maybe you just have a WordPress application. Okay. So moving on, I assume that a lot of students are watching my stream. And what is it AWS offers to students? So if you sign up for education or AWS Educate, you get $100 for free in credits. So, well, why not do that? Get that $100, build something, and learn how AWS works or what is AWS. Then you also have this free tier. AWS gives you services for free. Yeah, literally for free. And some of the services are free for 12 months, and some of the services are free forever. Yeah, forever. You don't have to pay anything to use cloud. So go ahead, check these out. And if you want to learn more about AWS, I found that Quick Labs is a very good place to start to begin. Well, Quick Labs is a third-party service, and they have a lot of hands-on tutorials which you can use, which you can learn, and you can actually experience what is AWS. So it's a demo time, and let me show you a basic simple application, how you can deploy a static website on AWS, which is very easy thing to do. Static website is anything which has only HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. It does not have backend code like PHP or ASP.NET or something. You still need a server to host your static website. In this particular case, we are going to use S3, which also works as a server. But we are not going to use S3 only. We are also going to front our application with CloudFront, which is a CDN content delivery network. So CloudFront, the presence, CloudFront has a lot more presence around the world, and our website will be accessible by our users because S3 is in one particular region. It's not everywhere. S3 is, let's say, if I host my S3 in Singapore, then S3 and I access my website, then my data will come from Singapore. But if I use CloudFront, then my website data will be copied across the whole world. And if let's say my user is close to, I don't know, America, USA, then it will be super fast for them. They don't have to come all the way to Singapore to access it. Okay, so I already wrote a code for my particular application for this sample application, the sample static website hosting, and you can access this URL git.io slash capital J small k b capital V and T. So yeah, let me also open this particular URL. Oops, sorry, and let me show you guys what is there. So this is publicly available. You don't have to log in or anything. So this is a file storage application. It uses AWS CDK, which is Cloud Development Kit. Cloud Development Kit lets you code your uh, well, infrastructure in this particular case to spin up resources or anything. Okay, so I've used this AWS CDK, then S3 as I mentioned, and CloudFront. And obviously you need AWS account, so I'm assuming that you already have one. And this is free for new users. This is covered under um, free tier for 12 months, so you will not get paid. Okay, so these are all the things which you need. You have to create a user in your AWS account. There is a config file already, which is here. So you have to modify according to your project. Okay, and then you need Node because I'm using Node to the CDK uses Node. So you need a Node to build this particular application. Okay, and then you have to run CDK deploy, which actually creates S3 bucket and CloudFormation stack, which will create CloudFront. And then finally, you can upload your static website here. Okay, and then you can access it. So let's move on. So I'm going to check out this code, and this is the demo folder. Wait, let me select my demo folder. Yep. So this is my demo folder um, for you guys. I'm just going to do get clone, and I'm going to paste this get URL, and this is going to clone this particular code on my local machine. Okay. So if you're following me, I'll give you 1 minute to quickly do that. So I have this code here, and I'm going to open this in Visual Studio Code so that I can go through the code, what is written here. So here, this is the actual code, and it's a TypeScript, which is similar to JavaScript, and I assume that you can get access, you can understand this. So this is my class, okay, and inside my class, I this is my constructor, and I have written all the code within a constructor within this particular constructor, and it's just only few lines of code. So this few lines, this 3 4 lines, is creating this S3 bucket, which will work as our server. Okay, then I'm just doing output like show me the name of the bucket, and this is origin access identity. Well, this is you are creating a user to access this particular bucket. Sorry, let me move to the, I forgot to move to. Hmm. So this is the code. So S3 bucket output my user to access my files from CloudFront, and this is the CloudFront. So CloudFront says that read all your files from S3. What is the behavior? You don't have to understand every bit of it, but this is what it is. So let me move back to my command line and let me show you what am I doing here. So I'm just going to select, I'm going to inside here. So I have all the files which is required. I'm going to do npm install, which is just going to install all the dependencies required to run this particular project. Yeah, one more thing, I have to update my config file. So let's just do that. I'm going to change the name from sample project to, I'm going to say something like demo fast, and just to keep it unique, 28th November. Okay, I have it. What else is required? I have to do npm run build, which will transpile my TypeScript code to JavaScript code. And now I can do CDK deploy. But wait, I have not select my AWS account. So I have to do that. And since I have already set up that, you can do it by doing AWS configure, and it will show you all the steps how to set up. But well, I already did that. So this demo is not about how to set up AWS. That's why I'm skipping all this. Okay, and now we are ready to do CDK deploy. And hopefully it should work. Well, that's all. Even Steve Jobs faced these issues that live demos always fail. So let me just try it one more time. And if it doesn't work, then I'm just going to show you. So for whatever reasons, my live demo is not working. So I'm just going to show you one more website which I have already deployed, which is like Mansoor Solutions. So AWS S3 LS, and I'm going to show you Manshu Solutions. And here you can see all the files. So it has index file, it has JS, image, font, CSS. And if I open my browser and if I show you um, Manshu Solutions, then you can see that, well, hey, this is my full-fledged website. And even I have like forms and everything is working fine. Okay. So if everything works fine, well, it should work for you guys as well. Um, Finally, I want to show you that this is a feedback form, which will help me to get the feedback from you guys, like how my session was, if I did something, if I missed something, if you want to learn anything else. Uh, well, it would be amazing to if you can give me this feedback. Thanks, thank you, and have a good day.